Hello, welcome. This is Adeba Media Podcast. Today we are going to discuss about Ethiopian endemic plants and the Ethiopian Green Legacy Initiative. So we will discuss more about this topic with an expert. He is a botanical garden expert. So Mr. Fkadu, welcome. Please introduce us yourself in detail.
Okay, you are welcome. Thank you so much. I'm Ricardo Lorenzo, a botanical science researcher, and I'm also working as a researcher in Kulali Botanical Garden.
Okay, thank you very much. To begin with, please tell us about in detail about the botanical garden expert's importance in this today's world.
Okay, thank you. As a botanical researcher, I can confidentially say about the botanical research, what they play great role to address some the most urgent global changes, like from food security to climate change, from medicine to biodiversity conservation, and also as a role in managing the country's natural resource. Especially, I can say biodiversity conservation. Botanical researchers play a great role by cataloging plant species, which help us to understand and protect the planet's diversity, identifying endangered endemic species, which also allow us to target conservation efforts, and also the research support the creation of a protected area restoration project and the seed bank. And like climate change mitigation, as you know, plants act as a major role in carbon sinking. By understanding their role, it also helps us to develop climate resilience landscape. And also studying plant respond to change climate enable us to predict and manage ecosystem shifts. So research in especially drought tolerant and heat resistant crop support agricultural adaptation. And the other thing is medicinal discovery. As you know, all the majority of nowadays medicine come from plants. So many modern medicines are derived from plants. So botanical researches uncover bioactive compound in plant that can lead to new pharmaceutical values, and also traditional medicine knowledge can be also scientifically validated and integrated into modern healthcare. So this is what really botanical researchers act. As food security and agriculture, understanding the plant genetic and the physiological help us to improve crop yield, nutrition content, and also resistance to pests and diseases. A great role I hope from botanical researchers.
Okay. Recently, we have published a story regarding Ethiopian endemic plants. The title of the story was "Attention to the Jungle: Ethiopian endemic plants between conservation and extinction." So, what are the major findings of the story that was published on the Ethiopian Herald newspaper?
Okay, the attention to Ethiopian jungle or Ethiopian endemic plants in between extinction and conservation. This story tells us about many things to address, like range from ecology to cultural and the policy issue. Mainly to address the biodiversity, reach, and endemism in Ethiopia. As we have indicated on the history, Ethiopia is home to over 60,000 plant species with high rate of endemisms. So especially in the area like Valley Mountain, the Ethiopian highlands and the southwestern parts of Ethiopia. So endemic plants which are also very important and need the conservation issues like Eritrean roots, Aloe incoherences, Alginia licinica. I think we have also talked about Lipiadosis, a lot on that one. So taking attention to biodiversity richness and endemism in Ethiopia is very important. The other thing is one thing treat those endemic plant species, especially we try to address and this history like deforestation is a major threat to endemic plant species. Deforestation for agriculture, livelihood, settlement expansion is pushing many endemic species toward extinctions. The other thing is climate change. Climate change also alter temperature, rainfall, and treating sensitively, especially those highland ecosystem plant species, and over harvesting, especially for medicinal plant and aromatic plants without sustainable practice. The other thing is invasive species and grazing pressure, degrading the natural habitat of those plant species. And also we try to address the ecological and the cultural importance. Many endemic plant species play a crucial role in ecosystem functioning, like soil stabilization, water regulation, and also local medicines, especially among the rural and the indigenous communities. So the story may explore also how traditional healers and the local peoples value the plant culturally and spiritually. So conservation effort, we try to suggest on that historically, like government and NGOs are also established protect area, biosphere reserves, community forest initiatives, and also exit to conservation like botanical garden, seed bank, which help us to preserve those genetic resources and also supporting church forests in north and especially local conservation by traditional communities also highlight as grassroots in the conservation success. And I think the thing that we also recommend on that storytelling is research and the scientific documentation. So ongoing studies aim to document. That means we also try to make some documentation like classifying, analyzing endemic plant species, especially those used for medicinal values and ecological values.
Over the past years, Ethiopia is experiencing a great deforestation rate. So tell us about which parts of the country are more exposed for deforestation.
Actually, it's maybe possible to say in all, especially where the area usable or used for agricultural purpose and closest to the city are more susceptible, but some of the most exposed and the vulnerable part of the country is like the southern part of Ethiopia, like Gambela, Bench, Shako, Shaka, parts of Kafa zone. Those areas are the parts where lost remaining moist tropical forest. And as a southern nation and the nationality, the regions also there is and where the area like expansion for coffee plantation and a large farm area expansion, especially in Oromia. There is also large size diverse ecosystem are used for mixed like agricultural grazing and the like. So all those parties are very exposed for deforestation. So that means it treats about diversity, especially in also the northern parts of Ethiopia, like Amara and the Tigray regions. They are also exposed to currently there is an issue of deforestation.
Traditional healers that was utilizing the Ethiopian endemic plants for medicinal plants for healing purpose. So they tell us that Ethiopia has a potential to heal African population in traditional healing. So what are the ways to harness these potentials?
Okay, yeah, thank you. This is a very important question. As I have said before, Ethiopia is rich in heritage of endemic medicinal plants that present valuable opportunity not only for improving public health but also for advancing economic development, scientific innovations, biodiversity conservations. So to harness this potential effectively, Ethiopia can take the following maybe strategic action that I recommend, especially by the first thing is documentation and validation. As I've said, ethnobotanical survey. That means conducting comprehensive documentation of traditional knowledge from healers across the region is very important, and also scientific research supporting universities, research institutes to validate the, the safety and efficacy of those and the pharmacological property of medicinal plants. And the standardization also very important, developing quality control protocols to ensure the consistency of and the safety of those herbal medicine is very important. So the second thing that I recommend is the policy and the regulation framework. So intellectual property like rights, it means protecting indigenous knowledge by establishing clear and benefit sharing and intellectual property rights for local community and healers is also very important. By like normal herbal medicine policy, certification, and the license. I mean, this is, I think, very important.
Tell us a contribution of Gudeli Botanical Garden and other parks, conserved parks, to restore the Ethiopian reforestation efforts and conserve more forest biodiversity.
Okay, thank you. This is a major thing that we are trying to addressing, that especially like Gudeli Botanical Garden play a critical role in conservation of Ethiopian plant species, serving us mainly as a center of research, education, preservation sites. So there are some that Gudeli and the similar institution may contribute meaningfully and to safeguard the Ethiopian plant species. The first thing is ex situ conservation. That means ex situ conservation is protecting, treating the endemic plant species outside their natural habitat. So these act as safe nets and help us to maintain genetic diversity. The other thing is as the scientific research and the plant documentation. So the garden provides controlled environment for botanical and ecological research, including plant taxonomy, propagation techniques, medicinal properties. So researchers use it to identify, to classify, and study endemic species, including those not well understood or at risk. It supports effort to validate traditional medicine with scientific. The third thing is education and the policy awareness. So the Botanical Garden also serve as a living classroom. That means help students, citizens, decision makers to understand the value of plant biodiversity, and also through exhibition, guide tours, and workshop, raise awareness about the treating the Ethiopian endemic plant species and promote conservation behavior. So it also consists urban population to nature and connect the knowledge and make conservation more relevant and accessible. The fourth thing is community and stakeholder engagement. The garden can work with the local community, traditional healers, farmers to promote sustainable plant use and indigenous knowledge. So it helps train stakeholders in plant propagation, nursery management, and biodiversity monitoring. So this is the major thing that Valley Botanical Garden plays. In addition, like restoration and reforestation work, and also sometimes policy support and conservation planning also can participate, especially the higher researchers can participate on those teams. Thank you.
Okay, let us talk about Ethiopian Green Legacy Campaign initiative. It was launched by the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. So, how much is it contributing to restore the country's forest coverage in the past years?
Okay, yeah, so the Ethiopian Green Legacy initiatives, I think it's launched in 2019 and has made remarkable strides and in restoring, especially the country's forest restoration, especially by like promoting massive tree planting efforts. From 2019 to 2022, I think over 25 billion seedlings were planted. This really exceeds to the initial 20 billion targets. That means it's money, and also I think in afterward there is a plan to plant around 7.2 billion seedlings were also planted, and around I think the 7.2 is planned, then 8.4 billion seedlings were planted.
Yeah.
So in 2025 also, I think it's more than that. So this rise forest coverage, maybe as some researchers indicating, and also some official report and a satellite image indicating in 2019, forest coverage was approximately around 17.2% of the country area. So by 2023, it climbed to 23.6%. That means it's almost around 6% increase in forest area. So this is very important. I think there is also seedling survival survey. There is also impressive average survival rate also increased to 80% from the beginning, that 50 to 60%. This is very important and very helpful to increase the forest coverage of the country. Thank you.
Thank you so much for dedicating your time for this podcast and sharing us important points. Thank you very much again, Mr. Fukad.
Oh, thank you, for your very important question also. Thank you.
Thank you, our viewers also. Thank you.